Now let's see few more cases and let's try to understand what is a string pool. So let's talk about this concept string pool, and we will also see few things about string equality. So let's say I create two strings like this. We have string s1 and we have initialized this with prep bytes, and again we have string 2 s2 with the same string, initialized with the same string. So here let's say we have Java heap area. In this heap memory we have something known as string pool. This is string pool. So in the first go, whenever I create a string prep bytes, so this string is created in the memory and we have s1 pointing to this particular string, right? And now we are creating a new string s2, let's say, and we are initializing s2 with the same string constant or same string literal, which is prep bytes. So when we do something like this, Java searches that whether this particular string already exists in the string pool or not. If yes, then rather than creating a new string, it makes this particular object to point to the same string. So we have s1 and s2 pointing to same string. So in this case, if we do something like this, if s1 equal to s2, print equal, else print not equal. So in the previous case where we had string s1 new string prep bytes and we were creating another string using constructor, so in that case, if we did this s1 equal to s2, we were getting false. S1 was not equal to s2. But here in this case, you can see that s1 and s2 both are pointing to the same string, pointing to the same memory location. So in this case, when we do this, equal gets printed. Now let's again see what is the difference between getting a new string using this particular method or this particular syntax or this particular syntax. So here in this case, the new strings are created in the string pool. In this case, the strings are created outside the string pool in the heap area. So here prep bytes is created and we have s1 pointing to this. And let's say I again create a new string using new string constructor, irrespective of the fact that this particular string already exists in the memory, s2 is again pointing to a new string. So irrespective of the fact that prep bytes already exists in this heap area, a new string is created and s2 points to this particular string. So whenever we initialize our strings using string constants or string literals, it is created, the string is created in the string pool, and if we have a same string already created, then all the objects point to the same string. So before creating a new string, this string pool is checked that whether this string already exists. Whereas in this case, irrespective of the fact that the string is already there in the heap area, this is outside the string pool, that the string is already there in the heap area, new strings are created and new objects are created. So this is the difference between this object, and this is what is string pool. So now let's proceed further and talk about few more methods. So we have another thing called as join. So we saw earlier that we can use this operator to join strings. But we also have join method to take care of few more use cases. So let's see why do we use join, how do we use join. So if we need to put multiple strings together separated by a delimiter, we use the static join method. So let's see how do we use this. So here we have static method. So whenever we have a static method, then we don't need to create. So whenever we have a static method, we can access this method using the class name, which we are doing here. We are accessing the join method using the string class only. So what we are doing, we are creating a string all. This is the delimiter. This is the delimiter, and these are the strings that we are trying to join. If we try to print all, so here we have created the string all, we have joined it, this is the delimiter, these are the strings we want to join, the different strings are separated by a comma. If we print this particular string, this is what we get. So here we had P as the first string. The delimiter is something that comes after every string. So we have P, after P we have this particular delimiter, we have R, and then we have this slash, we have EP and the slash bytes. So this join method is generally used, I'm repeating, when we want to put multiple strings together separated by a delimiter. So now let's talk of a very common use case of this join method. So let's say we have three strings with us. We have date, we have month, and we have year. So let's say we want to combine these three strings and make a date or create a date of the format, let's say 26/12/2018 or 29/11/2019. So given date, month and year, we want to form a date, right? We want to convert this in date format. So we can do this using this particular join method. So this is how we can do it. So we have again a all string. We are creating a string called all, and we have this hyphen as the delimiter, and we have date, month and year. So the output of this will be, if we try to print all, we get 21/12/2018. So these methods, there are lots of methods in strings. Depending upon the use case that we have, we use these methods. Now let's proceed further and see few more methods. Now let's see few more methods. These methods are mainly focused on modifying these strings. So let's say I have a string prep bytes and I want to extract some part of the string. Basically I want to have a substring, which is substring is the part of the string, right? So I want to create a new string. Let's say I want to create a new string S1 that contains a part of that big string. Okay, so we can do this using the substring method. So we call substring method on object S, which is prep bytes, and we give two indexes. So this is the start index and this is the end index. So the substring is created from start to end -1. So if here we have start as 0 and n as 3, so the new string that is created or the substring will have index 0, 1 and 2. So the index 0, 1 and 2, whatever is character is there, using that a new substring is created or a new string is created, and that is assigned to S1. So S1 will get a new string called pre. So whenever you have to create a substring or create a new string that is a part of this particular string, we use substring method. We give the start index, end index, and the new substring that is created from start index to end index -1. Okay, now let's say I want to replace P in this particular string. So in this case, if we do S1 dot replace P comma B, then the new string that is created is this. So the P gets replaced by B. Now let's say we have this particular string and I want to convert all of them to uppercase. So we can do S1 dot to uppercase. So in this case, what happens? All the characters of the string. So here we have S1 as PRE, right? So in this case, we have one capital and two small case or lowercase letters. So if we do S1 dot to uppercase, all the letters, all the characters are converted to uppercase. So the new string created is of this form. Now let's say I want to convert all of these in lowercase. So we call s1.to lowercase. So all the characters of s1 will be converted to lowercase. So these are the few methods using which we can modify our strings. Now let's proceed further. So we saw that a string is backed by a character array. So there are various operations that we would like to do. So if we have string as prep bytes, so we would like to know that what is the character at this particular place, or we want to extract the character at this particular index. So we have various methods for this as well. So let's go and see that. So let's say I want to get a character that is at index 1. So the index starts from, so the index starts from 0, right? So this is just a character array, and we know that in array index starts from 0. So if I do something like prep bytes dot char at 1, and whatever value is returned from this particular operation is assigned to ch. So in this case the char at 1 is r. So ch gets the value as r. So if we have to extract a particular character at a particular index, we can do that using char at. Okay. Now let's say I want to create a character array. I want to create a character array which contains characters from this particular string. So I want to create a character array which contains character from this particular string. So we can use the method getChars. So I have created a character array buff, and we have s, let's say s is prep bytes here. So we will call the getChar method, and these are the parameters that we will pass. So let's see what are these parameters. We have start, end. So start is the start index of this particular string from where I want to start getting the characters. So let's say the start is 0, and then we have end till which I want to get the character. So let's say it is 2, and then we have the name of the array where I want to store the characters. So if I am getting the characters p, r and e, where will I store this? So here I am storing this in buff character array. So this is the name of the array where the characters that we are extracting will be stored, and this is the start index of the character array. So I will start storing these characters from index 0. So after this particular operation, we will have our buff as, let me write here. So we will have a character array buff with p, r, e starting from 0. So this is how you can get or extract few characters from the string and store it in array. We have another operation called toCharacterArray. So this particular operation, what it does is it converts the string to the character array, and whatever character array is there is stored in buff here. So these are few operations that we can do on our strings. Now let's say I want to search few parts of the string, or I want to search few things in the string. Let's see what are the methods here. So we have two methods for this. We have index of and the last index of. Index of searches first occurrence of a character or substring, and we have last index of which searches last occurrence of a character or substring. Let's see the examples to understand. So let's say I have a string s which says hi, how are you? So if I do something like s dot index of h, so index of h, let's go back to see what is index of, searches first occurrence of a character or substring. So the first occurrence of h happens at 0. So if we print this, we get 0. And if we get last index of h, so here last index of h is also going to be 0. So let's say if this has been something like this. So the last index of H would be 0, 1, 2. So last index starts searching from back, and from back at whatever index it gets the particular character, it just outputs that. We can search characters and we can also search substrings. So here we have substring is high. So here high is here. So it gives me the index is 0. Now we also have the facility that I can tell it that I want to start the searching from index 5. So if I do something like high comma 5, then it will start searching from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts searching from 5th index. Okay. So similarly, if we do s dot last index of high comma 5, then it stops searching at index 5. In case of index of, it starts searching at index 5. In case of last index of, it stops searching at index 5. It starts from back and stops searching at index 5. So these are few things about searching strings. So again, if you try to memorize all these methods, you won't be able to do it. You will get confused. Just be acquainted with them, and when you have to use it, just look about it and use these in your programs.